Beginning with the passage, the triangular snowflake, we're going to cover today question numbers 1 and 2. Take notes on your paper as we go through questions 1 and 2. That way you'll have these notes to review for your post-test, which will be taken about 2 weeks from the date you took the pre-test. One thing about English tests is that you don't have to read all of the passage at once. You should instead read each part just to cover the questions that you are working on at that time. So we're only going to read the first portion down to number 2, and we're going to stop there. We don't have to read the entire passage at once. Snowflakes form from tiny water droplets, following a specific process of chemical bonding as they freeze, Now we're going to stop there because the part that is underlined we've already passed. So in the part that's underlined, we see 1 comma after the word droplets. In the answer choices, we see a comma after form for answer choice B, a comma after tiny, a comma after droplets. And then in C, we see a comma after tiny, comma after water, and in D, comma after form, and that's all. So now let's look at this. Tiny water droplets. Let's start there. Well, water describes the droplets. Tiny describes the droplets. Both of these are 2 adjectives that describe the same noun. Droplets is a noun. So because droplets is a noun and both of these are 2 adjectives that describe the same noun, we now have to figure out if they are coordinate adjectives or if they are cumulative adjectives. So coordinate adjectives will get a comma between them. But in order to be a coordinate adjective, then that means that both of these adjectives, tiny and water, have to be in the same category to describe the droplets. Well, tiny tells the size of the droplets. Water tells the type of droplets. Size and type, is that in the same category? No. So coordinate adjectives, remember, have to be in the same category. And if so, you put a comma between them. Cumulative adjectives, these are 2 adjectives or 3 adjectives or 4 adjectives that describe the same noun, but they are not in the same category. So when they are not in the same category, no comma is needed between them. So in this case, because tiny is talking about size, water is talking about the type, we don't have coordinate adjectives. So we don't need a comma between them because they are not in the same category. Instead, we have cumulative adjectives. So no comma is needed between tiny and water. So we can eliminate some things. We're going to leave answer choice A because there's not a comma between those 2. But we're going to get rid of answer choices B and we're going to get rid of answer choice C. So now that leaves us with A and D. Do we need a comma after droplets? Or do we just need a comma after form? So let's see. Snowflakes form from tiny water droplets following a specific process of chemical bonding as they freeze. Or, the way it's originally written, snowflakes form from tiny water droplets following a specific process of chemical bonding as they freeze. The correct answer choice here is A. And here's the reason why. This comma separates the main independent clause from the rest of the sentence. So this separates the main independent clause from the rest of the sentence, and the rest of this sentence happens to be a participial phrase. So here we have comma separates the main independent clause from rest of sentence. And this is what we call a participial phrase. All right, and remember, D is not the correct answer. Well, usually when we see a comma anyway, we're alerted to pause. So that natural pause, snowflakes form from tiny water droplets following a specific process. You can tell that there shouldn't be like a natural pause after the word form. So A is the correct answer. Let's go to sentence number 2, or question number 2. The rare triangular snowflake, so the triangular snowflake is rare. Well, let's back up. It says snowflakes form from tiny water droplets following a specific process of chemical bonding as they freeze, which results in a six-sided figure. So snowflakes have a six-sided figure. The rare triangular snowflake, so a triangle doesn't have 6 sides, it has 3. So now we're talking about something different. The rare triangular snowflake similarly confounded scientists for years because it apparently defied the basic laws of chemistry. Well, 6 sides is not similar to 3 sides, right? So 6 sides is different from 3 sides. So similarly cannot be the correct answer, because when you say similarly, you're talking about something is the same. There's something is alike. And we're not saying that they're alike. This has 6 sides. This is triangular. So these things are different. For example would introduce an example. We're not giving an example of the six-sided triangle, the six-sided snowflake here. So that would not work. Additionally means you're adding on information about something you just talked about. But we're not adding on information about the six-sided snowflake. We're talking about a completely different one now, the triangular one, which is rare. So it can't be additionally. So now let's go to however. However is a contrast word. And by contrast, what we mean is we're talking about the difference. So we talk about the opposite whenever we use the word however, the opposite of what was just said. So we talked about the six-sided figure of a snowflake, and now we're talking about a triangular snowflake. Triangle, 3 sides, is the opposite of 6 sides, is not the same. So in this case, the correct answer is J.